Alright, please don't freak out, but I look more than a little bit different than usual. And keep in mind, it's the same old me. I'm just a little different this time, okay? Like, your job is to not freak out. Alright? No freaking out just because I look different than usual. Okay? Okay. Yep, haircut and I shaved, so pretty much a clean slate for today. Also, Eagles are 5-0, fight me. What's up? What's happening? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Animation Station. I'm one strategist for anything and everything animation, including a crime-solving canine and his group of meddling kids, and welcome back to Scooby, Snacks, and Spooks. As you know, last time we looked at an abhorrent piece of crap in Scooby-Doo and the Monster of Mexico. And I was not super excited going into this next one because I remember it being kind of forgettable. Way better than Monster in Mexico, but still not anything that memorable. Well, I was wrong, because after like 3 or 4 watches, this most recent watch, this 4th watch, finally something clicked. And I started having a lot of fun, and now I can gladly say I'm on the positive side of this one again. So, with that out of the way, I'm a freshly shaven Jackson Small, who's still celebrating that Philadelphia's 5-0. And welcome to Scooby-Doo and the Loch Ness Monster. The final movie that came out during What's New Scooby-Doo's actual run date on the air before it ended. And then after that, it pretty much just became the movies keeping the series afloat until it got the reboot in 2013. So, with all that said, let's dive into this movie. And yeah, I've heel turned on this one quite a bit. I wanted to go like all out, super deep analytical, and give a huge big apology for ever not liking this movie. But unfortunately, there's no synopsis on the wiki. Like, none at all. I literally looked it up. There's no synopsis. So unfortunately, I can't do an all-out review like I really wanted to do. But I can tell you this right now, this movie's great. And I am kicking myself for ever thinking it was bad. So, or even average. This is not just a good movie, it's a great movie. So, here's my written review. Sorry I can't make it any longer, but it is what it is. Let's continue our dive through the What's New era of the Scooby-Doo movies with the next one to be released, 2004's Scooby-Doo and the Loch Ness Monster. The Mystery Inc. gang is off to Scotland to visit Daphne's cousin Shannon Blake and witness the Loch Ness games at Blake Castle. That is until the legendary Loch Ness Monster begins to cause havoc. Now it's up to the gang and some new allies to solve the mystery once again. What's interesting about this one is that instead of just being like Scooby-Doo's usual uniquely designed monsters with 100% originality, well, debatably, but you know what I mean, design-wise, they decided instead to actually implement a real-life urban legend into the story, you know, the Loch Ness Monster, and it actually works pretty well. Not to mention almost every problem from Monster in Mexico has been completely fixed, thank goodness. Grady Lee Griffith is back as Daphne and sounds fantastic, as well as the entire cast. Welker's Scooby voice is much better than the past 2 movies, and Mindy Cohn's first time as Velma is outstanding. She's one of the best Velmas we've ever gotten. Even in the movies I don't like, she is a standout as Velma. The mystery is actually really good and not as predictable as usual. Like, you think you can predict this movie? No. You can't. Not on first watch, anyway, you can't. And is actually on par... I'm jumping ahead. The mystery is actually really good and not as predictable. The animation is much better than the previous 2 movies and is actually now on par with the What's New Scooby-Doo TV series, with just a small touch of added polish. Like, the animation is leagues better than it was in the past 2 films. It doesn't look flat, it doesn't look bad, it doesn't look cheap and generic. It looks well thought out, textured, detailed, and really well done. The animation in this movie is really well done. It's not Cyber Chase level, but it's really well done. So props to them. The story is great this time around and a lot of fun to watch unfold. The jokes are excellent. Almost every single line had me laughing. The writing is better. All the new characters are actually really likable, despite being one-offs. The setting of Scotland is a refreshing change of pace, and it actually respects the culture of the country that it's set in. Thank you. Glad you learned your biggest screw-up from the last movie. The pacing itself is surprisingly pretty fast. The runtime is just a little bit over an hour and 10 minutes doesn't overstay its welcome, and the rewatchability is pretty high. However, there's still a few things that they need to work on. A few jokes are still pretty hit or miss. Having no real villains, while different, feels like a bit of an anticlimax, and the ending is confusing. It's not bad, it's just confusing. You'll know what I mean once you see it for yourself. Overall, though, this one is much better than I remembered it. First few times I watched it, I just couldn't really get into it and found it pretty average. But on this most recent rewatch, it finally clicked with me. This is a great installment, and I'm glad that I gave it another chance. Highly recommended. It is a definite hidden gem in this mixed bag of the What's New era of Scooby-Doo. Final verdict is a high 8 out of 10. Yeah, that means it's the highest scoring What's New movie so far. And trust me when I say, it earns it. It is a great film. I'm sorry it took me so long to finally get it, but this watch, it finally clicked, and now I can say I'm a huge fan of it. And while it's probably not going to be a top 10 contender, it's still going to be a great movie that I'm going to have a lot of fun rewatching for a long time to come. So, yeah, that's my surprising review of Scooby-Doo and the Loch Ness Monster. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And stay tuned, because we still have a long way to go in our little marathon of Scooby-Doo movie binging. Because we're only on the 8th day of the 31 days of October. So we have a long way to go. So, what movie is next on the schedule? Okay. I don't remember it being very good, but who knows? Maybe this will be another time that it changes for me whenever you watch it. See you next time for Aloha Scooby-Doo. And go Eagles. See you later.